Did you know that Asia is the largest continent on Earth? It's so big it could fit the moon inside it and still have room to spare. Isn't that incredible? Picture the Earth as a giant jigsaw puzzle with each piece being a continent. These 7 pieces, Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe, and Australia, fit together to make up our beautiful planet. But that's not all. Our planet is also covered by 5 massive bodies of water we call oceans. These are the Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, Arctic, and Southern Oceans. Together, these continents and oceans make our world a diverse and exciting place to live. They're home to a wide array of cultures, animals, plants, and natural wonders. So, buckle up, explorers. We're about to embark on a thrilling journey across the 7 continents and 5 oceans of the world. Our journey begins with the 7 continents. Can you name them all? Let's start with Asia, the largest continent on Earth, both in terms of area and population. It's home to the world's tallest peak, Mount Everest, and the Great Wall of China, the only man-made structure visible from space. And you've probably heard of the Bengal tiger or the panda, right? Well, they're from Asia too. Moving on to Africa, the 2nd largest continent. It's famous for its diverse wildlife like lions, elephants, and giraffes. Africa also houses the world's longest river, the Nile, and the scorching hot Sahara Desert, which is so big it could almost swallow up the entire United States. Next, we have North America, the 3rd largest continent. It's where the Grand Canyon carves its way through Arizona, and where you'd find the world's largest freshwater lake by surface area, Lake Superior. North America is also home to the mighty grizzly bear and the majestic bald eagle. Then comes South America, known for the Amazon rainforest, the world's largest tropical rainforest, and the Andes, the longest continental mountain range. Ever seen a picture of a llama or a capybara? They're both South American natives. Let's not forget about Antarctica, the coldest, windiest, and driest continent. Even though it's mostly covered in ice, it's home to lots of penguins, seals, and whales. Plus, it's the best place to catch a glimpse of the southern lights. Next up is Europe, a continent rich in history and culture. It boasts landmarks like the Eiffel Tower in France and the Colosseum in Italy. Europe is also where you'd find the brown bear and the red deer. Last, but certainly not least, we have Australia, the smallest continent. It's an island full of unique creatures like kangaroos, koalas, and the duck-billed platypus. And who could forget the Great Barrier Reef, the largest coral reef system in the world? Wow, that was quite a journey. But our adventure doesn't stop here. Now let's dive into the 5 oceans. Are you ready to make a splash? Picture yourself exploring the vast expanse of water that covers over 70% of our Earth. These are the oceans, the grand and mysterious bodies of water that are teeming with life and stories. Let's start with the largest of them all, the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific is so big that it's larger than all the land masses on Earth combined. Imagine that. It's also home to the deepest point on Earth, the Mariana Trench, which plunges nearly 7 miles below the surface. That's deeper than Mount Everest is tall. Can you imagine what kinds of creatures live down there? Next up is the Atlantic Ocean, the 2nd largest ocean. This is the ocean that Christopher Columbus sailed across in 1492, discovering the Americas. The Atlantic is also known for its infamous Bermuda Triangle, where ships and planes have mysteriously disappeared. Spooky, isn't it? The 3rd ocean on our list is the Indian Ocean. It's the warmest ocean and is known for its monsoons. The Indian Ocean is also home to some of the most beautiful coral reefs in the world. These reefs act like underwater cities, bustling with all kinds of colorful marine life. Moving on, we have the Southern Ocean, also known as the Antarctic Ocean. It's the youngest of all the oceans, recognized as a separate ocean only in the early 21st century. This ocean is the coldest and is home to some pretty cool residents like penguins and seals. Brr, it's chilly just thinking about it. Last but not least, we have the Arctic Ocean, the smallest and shallowest of the 5 oceans. But don't let its size fool you. The Arctic Ocean is packed with icebergs and is home to the majestic polar bear. It's also the best place to catch a glimpse of the stunning northern lights. Isn't it fascinating how each ocean has its own unique characteristics and inhabitants? From the deepest trenches to the most colorful reefs, the warmest waters to the coldest icebergs, and from the mysterious Bermuda Triangle to the beautiful northern lights, our oceans are full of wonders waiting to be explored. So the next time you're by the seaside, remember, you're not just looking at a large body of water, you're looking at a part of one of the 5 oceans, each with its own tales of adventure, mystery, and beauty. Phew, that was quite a dive. But wait, there's more. So far, we've traveled across continents and dived into oceans. But how do they all fit together, you might wonder? Well, let's imagine our Earth as a giant jigsaw puzzle. with each piece representing a continent or an ocean. You see, continents and oceans are not just giant land and water bodies floating around aimlessly, they are interconnected in more ways than you can imagine. Think of it like a grand symphony where each instrument, whether it's a continent or an ocean, plays its unique part to create the beautiful music that is our planet. Now let's talk climate. Ever wondered why some places are hot and some are cold? Or why it rains more in some areas and less in others? It's because of the way continents and oceans interact with each other. The oceans absorb heat from the sun and distribute it around the world through ocean currents, while the continents help to shape the path of these currents. This dance between the oceans and continents creates the diverse climates we experience all around the world. And what about wildlife? Well, the oceans are home to a vast array of creatures, from the tiniest plankton to the largest whale. These oceanic inhabitants are dependent on the continents for nutrients that flow into the seas from the land, and on the flip side, many land animals rely on the oceans for food and water. And let's not forget about us humans. Our civilizations have been shaped by the continents and oceans. We've built cities on the coasts, used rivers for transportation, and relied on the oceans for food and trade. So you see, continents and oceans are like best friends, always influencing and supporting each other. They aren't just parts of our world, they are the very essence of our world, creating a harmonious balance that allows life to thrive. And that, my young explorers, is how our wonderful planet is made up of continents and oceans. So, the next time you look at a map or a globe, remember, it's not just land and water you're seeing, but an intricate system of interconnections that make our world the amazing place it is. Now, it's time to put your knowledge to the test. Are you ready for a quiz? Let's start with our first question. Can you name the largest continent on Earth? Yes, you've got it, it's Asia. Now onto our second question. Which ocean is the deepest? That's right, the Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean is the deepest point on Earth. Next up, question 3. What unique animals can you find in Australia? Amazing! Kangaroos and koalas are only a few examples of the unique creatures residing down under. Moving on to question 4. Can you tell me which is the smallest continent? If you said Australia, you're correct. Finally, our last question. Which ocean is the coldest? Yes, indeed, the Arctic Ocean takes the prize for being the chilliest. Well done, explorers, you've completed your journey across the continents and oceans. Keep exploring and remember the world is full of wonders waiting to be discovered.